Hey guys, welcome back to Airsoft Diagnostics and Repair. I'm Alex, and today we have a twofer. We got two replicas that are broken in seemingly the same way, according to the tech contracts. So let's get right into it.
Okay, so these are the two tech contracts for these guys. They both say they have stripped gears, so let's go ahead and plug a battery in and see what actually happens. We'll be testing with an 11-1. Plug that in real quick on this bottom one here. Semi-auto, nothing. Full auto, also nothing. You know it's a charged battery, so that sounds more like a locked gearbox rather than a stripped gearbox. Testing the top one here. Obviously there's no selector switch, but that's a part we need to order, so we'll just take care of that later. That sounds stripped. We'll try something real quick here. We'll try adjusting the motor height in to see if maybe the pinion gear is just not making contact. And it's getting worse. So yeah, something in there is definitely stripped. We'll start off with the bottom one here and then we'll move on to the top. Okay, so we went ahead and took the pistol grip off here so we could get access to this portion of the gearbox. Right here is a window, and when we stick our screwdriver through there, we can get access to the anti-reversal latch. So when we pull back on this, plot twist, there is no anti-reversal latch. There is no, someone took the, there should be a bar that sits right in here. And there's nothing there. So I suspect someone took this whole thing apart and put it back together wrong, and that's why it's locked up. So I guess I have to take the whole thing apart. Alright, so we've got this guy taken apart here, and the gearbox is opened up. We already pulled the spring and the spring guide out. The number one thing that I saw is the anti-reversal latch is this piece right here, and you can see that window I was talking about on the gearbox shell. That's where that arm should be. So the arm on this is actually between, I know that lighting's not great, so you can't really see it, but it's sitting between these two gears. That's not the way it's supposed to be. So we'll lift out the spur, or the bevel gear, and we'll grab the arm, and we'll push it back to the spot where it's supposed to be. Try to hold that in place, just like that. And then we'll set the bevel gear back where it goes. There you go. So now you can see the arm on this is facing this way, so it's on the bevel gear the way it's supposed to be. The only other thing with this that I noticed when we took it apart is that if you look at the piston itself, pull it up so y'all can see it here. The piston here is not a full metal rack, which is pretty common, but there's definitely some wear going on right in this general area of the teeth here. It's not enough that we need to replace it right this second, but it's enough that, you know, the customer needs to be noted about it, and it's one of those things I can talk about in the future is upgrading a piston and getting a full metal tooth rack so they can avoid having that kind of wear show up. Alright, let's put this thing back together and test it. Okay, so we got this thing all put back together, gearbox in the lower, hooked up to a battery just to test, see if it can cycle. Semi-auto's working, full auto's working. So Seems like our problem is just that anti-reversal latch being in the wrong location, therefore causing it all to jam up and lock up. So we'll put this guy back together, do some off-screen testing, make sure it's feeding just fine, but otherwise this one is good to go.
Okay, now that we finished the first one, let's open up the second one and see what's going on.
All right, well, we went to go tear the whole thing apart, but as soon as we got the motor grip off and had a chance to look at the motor, we were able to notice that the teeth on the pinion gear are actually... Oh, if it wants to focus. Well, either way, you can believe me. The teeth on this gear are just gone, more or less. So we went ahead and just replaced the entire motor because this motor is dying anyways. And with that, it's working just fine. Obviously, we need to replace that selector switch still, but for now, the stripped gearbox is done.